Hello. Let me adjust the camera. Okay, so sorry it's been a really long time since I made a video, but I don't really have any reason, honestly. I've just been feeling lazy and haven't really felt like making a video. But today I do. So I actually have another video filmed. I made it with a friend of mine. Well, we made several videos actually, and they're all really funny, but they're also really long and they're gonna take forever to edit. So those will be coming, but for now, I'm gonna do the Rip It or Ship It tag. For those of you who haven't seen that tag, which I'm sure you have, it's been around on BookTube for a little while. It's basically you just put a bunch of names of characters into something, like this shoebox I have, and you pick out two names and you say whether you'd ship the characters or you wouldn't. And it wasn't tagged by anybody, as usual, but I believe I saw this tag for the first time on Poem Banana's Books channel, so I will link to her video and the original video down there. So that's it. Let's get started. Okay, two characters I have are Peeta the Lark from the Hunger Games and Jem Carstairs from the Infernal Devices. I'm not sure which way to go with this one, because on one hand, they have a lot of similarities, so I feel like because of that, the relationship would just get a bit boring and they wouldn't really have enough differences to complement each other. But on the other hand, they have a lot of similarities. Because of that, they could relate to each other and help each other through their problems. So I don't know. I mean, I could see it, but I'm gonna go with Rip It because I just think that in the end, they would be too similar to really complement each other well in a relationship. So I think they'd be friends though, but I think they're too similar to really work romantically. Next one. Magnus Bane from the Mortal Instruments. And Will Herondale from the Infernal Devices. Okay, well they've actually met, so I guess I have to do it anyway, right? I'm gonna go with Rip It because actually no. I mean, Will and Alec kind of have some similarities. I mean, I think Will is kind of like a hybrid personality-wise of Alec and Jace. But, you know, with his own qualities, obviously. So I could see them working, but I think that Will is a bit more proud than Alec is, and I think that after a while that would really get on Magnus's nerves. So I am gonna go with Rip It, but I could see them working for a while, but in the long run, no. Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series, and Rose Hathaway from Vampire Academy. Well, this is a hard one. I love both of these characters so much, and I can definitely see them being friends, because Rose is kinda like Ginny in that she has like that fieriness and that passion, and she will stick up for whoever she cares about. So I feel like if Rose could look past Luna's oddness and appreciate her for the wonderful person that she is, I feel like they'd be very good friends. But in a romantic relationship, I don't think they'd work so well, because I feel like Rose needs to be in a relationship with someone that she fully understands and respects and who she can relate to on a deeper level. And and I don't really see that happening with Luna, because Luna is very, well, weird. Not in a bad way, but I feel like Rose would just, after a while, be like, what is going on here? So I'm gonna have to rip it. I would love to ship them, but I don't see it working. Why are you giving me such bad pairs? Okay. That'd be a good one, please. Caladri from the Protector of the Small series by Tamora Pierce, which is an amazing series and you should read it. And Hazel from the Faulkner Stars. I could see them working, because they're both very thoughtful people, but Caladri's a bit more action-y, which makes sense, because she's in a world where she's training to be a knight, and Hazel's a teenager recovering from cancer, so they're two very different situations. But I feel like Caladri would kind of be a good influence on Hazel and sort of help her to take more risks within what would be reasonable for her to do. And I feel like Hazel would be a good influence on Caladri, because Caladri can be really impulsive sometimes, and Hazel would be like, maybe take a step back and think about it, because, like, Caladri is thoughtful, but when, like, someone's in danger, she's just like, okay, I'm not gonna think about this, I'm gonna do it. And Hazel would be like, well, maybe you should think about it and then do it. So I think they would work. I'm gonna ship it. Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games, and America from the Selection. I really love both of these characters. I love Katniss a bit more because I met her first, and she's just life goals, basically. And I'm not one of those people who hates America and is like, oh, why couldn't you choose, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't think that's a big deal. But I do think that Katniss and America would not work well in a relationship or even in a friendship. I think that America, she's not a bad person. She not really isn't. But I feel like Katniss would be just a bit annoyed with her and her kind of indecisiveness. Even though Katniss has times when she's indecisive, like everyone does. But I feel like Katniss is more like, okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it. And America's more like, well, let me make sure I absolutely want to do this. And Katniss is gonna be like, just do it, just decide already. Like most of the people who read the Selection, who aren't me, thought. So I'm gonna go with Rip It, because I don't think they work out well together. Clary Frey from the Mortal Instruments, and Augustus Waters from the Faulkner Stars. These are the weirdest pairings ever. Okay. So, I'm gonna go with no on this one, because as much as I love Augustus dearly, and I love Clary just as much, I feel like Clary would just meet Augustus and be like, wow, this guy's pretentious. I mean, she'd be right, but I feel like Hazel was able to kind of look past that and see Augustus for all his wonderful qualities, and I feel like Clary, while she would be able to do that, I just feel like that would be too much of a barrier for their relationship. So I'm gonna go with Rick. Q from Paper Towns. And Margo Spiegelman, also from Paper Towns. You know what, I'm gonna pick a new second one for this, because that doesn't work, they're in the same book. Okay. Adrian of Ashkov from Vampire Academy and Bloodlines. I don't even know what to do with this pairing. Like, I can't even imagine them in the same universe. Like, they're just so different. I'm gonna go with Ship It, only because I feel like the way in Paper Towns Q felt about Marco, like he just thought of her as this amazing and otherworldly kind of being, and he kind of, in a way, imagined her as like a fictional character, even though she's a fictional character, but like to him she was a fictional character. And I feel like he just had a desire to kind of be connected to something and someone special. And I feel like Adrian, because he's a very artistic and creative person, would be able to somewhat provide that for Q in the relationship, because even though Adrian would be like, yeah, I'm not like the best person ever or whatever, which would be good for Q, because he needs to realize that he should see people as people and all that stuff. So, but he would also provide the creative aspect so that Q would be able to increase his own creativity, and I feel like actually they would work well together. So I'm gonna ship it. Lissa Dragomir from Vampire Academy, and Harry Potter from, well, Harry Potter. I feel like they would relate to each other really well because they're both kind of leaders who were thrust into a position that they didn't necessarily want, and they had to just deal with it and try to help people and lead people to the best of their ability. And I feel like Lisa would be very good for Harry, because she, even though like she's a very sensitive person and like her spirit powers like sometimes really mess her up, and Harry's also a very sensitive person, but I feel like they'd be able to relate to each other because of that, and they'd also be able to balance each other out, because Lisa would be able to, like, if Harry was thinking of doing something completely reckless, she'd be able to say, well, maybe don't do that, maybe, like, consider doing it this way, or whatever. And at the same time, Harry could, like, help Alyssa in the moments when she isn't sure what to do, and she, like, wants to act, but she's not sure if she should act. And Harry could be like, well, I think you should do it, encourage her to do what she wants, even though you might not always be right, because sometimes it's better to wait and think about it, but I think they'd be good together, so I'm gonna ship it. Alana from the Song of the Lioness series by Tamora Pierce, and Sydney Sage from Vampire Academy and Bloodlines. This is a really hard one, because I feel like Alana would really get on Sydney's nerves, because she's amazing. She's awesome. She's a total, really great person, and she's just like so inspirational and great and amazing, and you should read books about her if you haven't. but she's kind of like Rose in that she's very, like, headstrong and impulsive and stubborn. She just goes and does stuff sometimes without thinking about it. And Sydney is a very, like, meticulous, organized, like, less so near the end of the series. I mean, she still is like that, but she's, throughout the course of her series, learned to lighten up a little bit. But I feel like Alana is just like, boom, and Sydney's like, everything has to be a certain way to a certain extent. So I feel like they would drive each other crazy, because Alana would just be like, what's wrong with you? Lighten up. And Sydney would be like, well, what's wrong with you? You are doing stuff without even thinking about it. Like, what are you doing? But in that way, they'd be kind of good for each other, because they'd balance each other out. So, and that kind of happened with Adrian to a certain extent in the books. So I'm gonna ship it, because why not? Oh no, I have an uneven number of names. I'm gonna have to reuse one of the old ones. Okay. Tessa Gray from The Infernal Devices, and Margo Spiegelman from Paper Towns. I love both of them so much. It's like so hard to not ship all of these characters with each other. But I have to take into account their actual personalities, and I'm gonna go with no on this one. I feel like Margo will just drive Tessa crazy, so rip it. Sorry, Margo. I love you, but Tessa wouldn't. Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, and Augustus Waters from Paper Towns. I think Hermione would also be really annoyed with Augustus's pretentiousness. But she might be able to kind of help him with it. But at the same time, I just feel like him being really, like, pretentious and her being kind of, I don't want to say a know-it-all, but that's, like, rude, but she kind of is to a certain extent. But she's usually right anyway, but, you know. So I feel like that would just make them clash a lot, so I'm gonna rip it. So that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed this. Sorry that it's really long. And like I said, I have videos I recorded with a friend of mine, and we did the Whisper Challenge, and it's hilarious. So I'll be editing those once I feel less lazy. But until then, have this video, and I hope you like it.